immediately when you start GTS, you start shooting immediately. And that is honestly like the most important thing because I feel like in some film schools and some classes and stuff like that, you're going to get a lot of books, you're going to get a lot of people talking to you about how to make films, but like really the only way to do it is just like hit record and start shooting, like it's really not something you can just hear about. You have to like actually do it. Do you want to take this filmmaking thing seriously? Like do you want to really go all in on it? Because you could totally learn all the things that you're going to learn in this class by scouring YouTube and like just doing it yourself after a long time. But if you really want to like speed that process up and have a community of people to help you speed that process up and really learn from each other, then yeah, like this is the right spot to be. My name is Nick Laudicina. So I started filmmaking back in high school. It all kind of started when I got one of those little flip cameras. It only had one little button and it was a record button. And I just wanted to, I had my brother pick up a Nerf gun, had him pretend like he was in the zombie apocalypse. And we started getting my little cousins to be zombies. And we just had him go around shooting, shooting my cousins with a little Nerf gun. I tried to turn it into like a little zombie movie trailer and it was a lot of fun and I had a good time. So then I started to expand on that even more, made it like a little TV show web series thing with all my friends and family and stuff like that in it. Filmmaking to me is like a really good way to bring people together and just like have a good time making stuff together. Filmmaking is a team sport, and that's what I really like about it is that it's just like a super collaborative, fun place to mess around with some friends and make something cool to watch with later. Ever since high school is when it started, and then it's just been growing and growing as the years have gone by. I went to Columbia College Chicago and it was a television program. So yes, sort of. It was like a mixture of television broadcasting and like single camera filmmaking. So it was kind of like a blend of the two. So for me, it wasn't really going into it. It wasn't necessarily like not getting myself to shoot films. It was more trying to make those films easier to shoot. I've been making short films for a little bit now, but they've been taking so long to make because I've been really trying to make them beyond what they possibly could be, trying to perfect them in ways that they probably won't ever be. And I just need to keep moving. So I think GTS has really made it so like when I start a film going forward, I'm going to make sure that it's going to get finished. If I commit to it, it's for sure going to get finished and it's going to be something that is like feasible for the things that I have at my disposal. And I think that was kind of what I was looking for is like a system that I can really like start from and then build on and grow as the films get bigger. My hang up was that I always wanted to make my films almost too big and too expansive and too complicated. And I think GTS really condensed things down, make things a lot more simpler for me so that when I'm starting a film, I'm really setting myself up for success rather than a long, grueling, production of trying to get a film that is maybe too complicated out the door. I just wanted like something to start the fire, just something to keep me on track to make sure that I'm staying consistent and making sure that I have something that's going to keep me going. A lot of times for me, it's like a community thing, having a sense of community of other people who are also making films. You see another person put out their film and you're like, oh crap, I gotta put mine out. If they're doing that, like I can do it too. Like I have to present something. So that's always a group aspect is always good with creative stuff like that. And then also because I've been watching Darius's videos for so long now and he's already taught me so much, might as well just get the guy right in person. My initial hesitation was I wasn't sure exactly the skills that I would be learning in this class. For me, a systematic approach is like exactly the type of way that my brain works, like that's part of the thing with like movie making and filmmaking is there's not always a perfect formula to everything because every film's different. Every person thinks a little bit differently and their process of making and putting together a film is a little bit different. But when you have certain things that that you have to check off on the list of like things to do, that really makes things a lot easier for me because I kind of see, I know like some people see things a little bit differently, but for me, I have like a checklist, like a mental checklist of like, all right, we got to push this thing through the process. It's going to start here and we need to get to here and here and here and here and here. And having a lot of systems to work with has been super helpful. helpful so far. Immediately when you start GTS, you start shooting immediately. And that is honestly like the most important thing because I feel like in some film schools and some classes and stuff like that, you're going to get a lot of books, you're going to get a lot of people talking to you about how to make films, but like really the only way to do it is just like hit record and start shooting, like it's really not something you can just hear about. You have to like actually do it and see it in action, it's a visual medium. You need to see how it's done, So getting shooting right away was, I mean, that was the best part, right? Like we're all seeing what we can do, put that first project together and then you post it online, you see everybody else's. It's like a really exciting feeling. You're like, all right, we're doing it. So getting feedback right away is really, really good. And to me, it was extra great because you know who your audience is in some ways. Like you know who's going to be watching it. So you're like, okay, when you're thinking about setting up a shot, you're like, okay, so this person in this class, they might say this, or like Darius might say this, or something like that. So I got to make sure that I'm shooting to the audience that which is what you're gonna do in the future too. You're going to be thinking about the audience that you're shooting this for, So that's kind of an interesting part of it is having instant feedback because you're getting instant feedback from the people you're basically kind of shooting this for. So it's kind of nice. I feel like this experience has really given me clarity in intention, being very intentional about every shot that we are shooting, every edit that we make, every choice that we make during the film, being very intentional about it and what does it actually mean to the story of the film. And that's been a really important lesson that I've learned in this class. A lot of it was just cleaning stuff up, I think when you're shooting by yourself and you're shooting, films in like a small with which like a small group and stuff, you kind of are just kind of winging it in a lot of ways, you're just kind of like feeling it out. You're just like you're learning things, but you're not maybe like comprehending them totally. So I feel like with this class, I really, whenever I'm shooting something, whenever I'm about to shoot something, really thinking deeply and like trying to really comprehend what I'm doing, like why does my instinct say to do this shot, like what is the purpose of this specific shot, I'm thinking a lot more deeply about each thing and what is its intention. Because sometimes I think I would do stuff and it wouldn't really have an intention behind it. And then you get into the edit and you're like, oh, that doesn't really make sense. I don't know why I did that in the first place. You could have saved a lot of time not getting that shot if you just, if we thought about it a little bit more. There was a lot of clarity in being very intentional about everything that you do in the entire process, I think. When I started this program, what I wanted was a community of filmmakers to bounce ideas off of, to get feedback on with video, with future like short films that I send out. And then the second thing was starting a fire, just getting me back, taking this seriously, having a reason to hit record every week and shoot something every single week. I would say that's been absolutely been true. I got the community aspect and I got the fire to start shooting again. So, and consistently, not just again, like shooting consistently, I think is what I really wanted. And that's so far has been happening, like I feel like every week now I'm using that camera that I got. So that feels good. I think before I felt like I would have like spurts of shooting where I would shoot for a couple days and I'd be really happy and then it would just stop for a couple weeks, month or so. And I'm just like, man, I want to keep doing this. Like that feeling that I have when I'm shooting is so good. Like why am I not doing that more? So I think it was kind of like that a little bit. If you're on the fence about joining GTS, I would probably think to yourself, do you want to take this filmmaking thing seriously? Like, do you want to really go all in on it? Because you could totally learn all the things that you're going to learn in this class by scouring YouTube and like just doing it yourself after a long time. But if you really want to like speed that process up and have a community of people to help you speed that process up and really learn from each other, then yeah, like this is the right spot to be, Short term, right now, I'm trying to shoot a film this summer, in a couple weeks actually. We found some new crew members, some new actors, and we're excited to shoot it. It's going to be only a 2-day shoot. I have a writers group that I meet up with every so often, and we kind of discuss ideas. We share short film ideas, we share feature film ideas. I think in the short term, shoot a couple more short films, like bigger ones, but consistently want to be shooting smaller ones as well. I have a YouTube channel that I want to continue to grow. Long term, would love to do a feature maybe one day, like that is kind of a really fun goal. Like we have, me and my girlfriend have this script that we kind of really, really like, that is a feature, but we gotta refine it a little bit more. But that would be like a long-term goal is to really shoot that. We're gonna use these short films as teaching tools to build up to that feature.